Good morning. This is the Reverend Dr. William L. Johnson III, chaplain here at Christian Hospital Northeast in St. Louis, Missouri. I am so grateful for this privilege of sharing this message with you today. I got excited, throat kind of clammed up on me right as I was starting to speak, but here we are. I'm glad to be able to share this message with you, and I'm glad that you've taken time to click on this recording of the morning meditation, and hopefully it will bless your life. It is our desire to have it be a source of encouragement and inspiration for you and for those who are in your circle, in your family, in your community, and even in your workplace. And so we hope that you will enjoy this message indeed. Today's message is entitled With Dignity. With Dignity. It is amazing that as I've had the privilege of taking time of observing people. I have been a clergy person, a pastor for, or a minister for almost over 30 years, up to 30 years now, coming this February. And what I've discovered is that throughout my journey in caring for souls and for lives of people, everyone seems to be having, in a place of having a distinct desire to live their lives, to be born with dignity, to live their lives with dignity, and to die with dignity, and to have those who remember them after they're gone to still do so with dignity. And so I want to talk about doing it and living life with dignity. This amazing thing that as each of us have found ourselves navigating our lives, we either venture upon one or two paths. We find ourselves really struggling and trying to make sure we survive. And survival, my friends, is of the utmost importance. And when we look around at all the people that we come in contact with, we have one common denominator that most people find themselves grappling, trying to survive. If you don't survive, then all of it's moot, right? And so we find ourselves trying to struggle to make it. And to survive means to stay alive, just to get through it. But what is that really? If the only thing that we're doing is surviving, it sounds like it brings us to a place where we don't appreciate the joys, the colors, the vibrancy of life, that life has some vitality and energy in it. And so that often in our desire to try to make it through when life is hard and things are difficult and friends and family and all the things that we have to manage in life, survival is the least we can do, but probably the most we can do at certain junctures in our lives. However, to thrive in our lives, to prosper, to bloom, to glow, to have that kind of thing that sets an aura that we are really engaged and enjoying our lives is a different thing. And when we recognize that this is the one life we're given, that we won't get a chance to live this life again, and then we're starting to think about it, wherever our religious or faith traditions might bring us, or whatever our belief systems are, one thing is true. The you that you are right now, you'll never get a chance to be again in the exact same way. And so that if we're journeying through life, we want to do more than simply survive. We want to thrive. But in any course of our journey, we want to do it with dignity. What I've learned is that if you live in this life, and what I've encountered and witnessed and observed in the lives of people, people are valiant and they're amazing. I found that the human story is rich and inviting and filled with color and vibrancy in all these places when you observe it with the right eyes. And most people want to be able to be looked at, to be acknowledged, to be loved, to be appreciated, no matter what their race or culture or background or gender or whatever it is. Everyone wants dignity. Well, what is that word dignity? What is it to find yourselves trying to figure out how you leave a legacy behind and how you live with people honoring and respecting who you are as a human being? To live with dignity means not only to have others see you with dignity, but it's how you see yourself. And I am one who says that the way we live our lives is important, and the people that we live our lives with is also important. So we do it with dignity. I remember having a little old lady. I have many pastoral stories that I would dare share with you, but I wouldn't do that. But I was so blessed as a young minister to have people come to me and have conversations and interactions with people who were profound. And this young lady, her name was Mary. I'll call her Mary. I won't tell you her last name. God rest her soul. She was amazing. I remember finding myself in a church meeting, and Miss Mary came in, and there was some debate about what we should do and how we should do it. And when she stood up, her voice resonated. Everyone hushed to hear what Miss Mary had to say. And when Miss Mary spoke, she changed the whole climate of the meeting and turned everything into a mission for all of us to rally behind. That was Miss Mary. But while she was there being vocal in her leadership, she was also struggling with something in her own health and in her own life. Miss Mary had diabetes, and she was scheduled a few months from there, I discovered, to have surgery and to be in the place of having her foot amputated. And she struggled with what that would make her look like and how she would feel and how others would see her. Once she was this person who had so much to say, and people respected her because she was an educator and a very influential individual in our community. And now she would be bound to a wheelchair or dealing with what life had brought her way, with losing some part of her body. And she didn't quite feel whole. And what we discovered during our time together, pastor and parishioner, is that our dignity is of utmost importance. It is not vanity, it is not pride, but it is dignity that we're born with. And we want others around us to see us with that same degree of dignity. Miss Mary reminded me that there are some things that are really important. And as she went through that surgery, she came back through it, didn't feel herself for a while, but then she remembered who she was on the inside, which then cast itself on the outside. And that is the key that I learned. Dignity can be found when our creator or our sense of ourselves comes to life when we remember that our souls matter. Who you are on the inside matters. What you say and what you do in the world matters if it's authentically you speaking from your soul, living from your soul, laughing from your soul, loving from your soul. The world we live in teaches us not to live from our soul, laugh from our soul. We do things based on what we think other people will think about us. We want to use our gifts. We want to be involved in different things, but we are very rarely invited to bring our whole person to the table. And I'm inviting you to start little by little letting your soul show up, because that is where your dignity will lie. Otherwise, like Parker Palmer reminds us, we will be living as imposters in our own lives. And we don't want to do that, because that takes away and undercuts our own dignity. So live with dignity today, not thinking you're better than other people with your chin in the air, but grappling with the fact that you are who you are and you love who you are and you are strengthened by who you are, soul deep. Have a soul talk if you have to. Soul talks are good. And you say to your soul, soul, you have dignity. Live like it. Thanks so much for giving us your time and allowing us to share these messages of encouragement and inspiration. Remember, you're loved, you're appreciated, and you're irreplaceable. Thanks so much. Keep coming back. We hope that you're inspired and encouraged by these messages. Thank you again.